Hey, what's up everybody? Tim Castleman here, shooting you an update video. This is August 21st, 2016. Shooting you an update video. Going to play you the video from the original video, so a video within a video, kind of like an Inception matrix trick. And then I'll be right back and I'll provide you an update on where we are from last December. So December 2015 is when this first video was shot. I will provide you an update as where we are in August of 2016 as soon as this video is done. Enjoy the video. I'll explain to you why I'm including the video in this as well, and I'll see you in just a moment. Hey, what's going on everybody? Tim Castleman here, and today I have a very important warning for you. I know that I come across as a pretty jovial and fun-loving guy online, and I make jokes, and I'm sarcastic and all those things, but today is going to be totally different. Today is going to be 100% serious and 100% true. Now, before I begin, I need to do a few disclaimers. This is actually the second time I've recorded the video. The reason it's the second time is the company in question that you can see on the screen had the first one taken down because they were worried about their privacy. And what they're really worried about is this story getting out because it's not exactly favorable. So I'm going to tell you my experience with the offline assistant and dealing with a member in their staff by the name of Kevin. Now, I can't use Kevin's full name because that's what got this video removed the last time, but I can use his first name. And luckily for me, I'm now an expert, as is my lawyer, in the YouTube privacy policy. So, with that being said, let me tell you about this wonderful sarcastic tone experience I had with the offline assistant company and why I'm giving you a real world 100% serious warning not to use this company. And one last disclaimer before I tell you, this is my experience and my experience only. You may have a great experience with them and you may choose to work with Kevin and the offline assistant company after today. If you do, that's 100% on you. If you want to invite this company or anyone within its company to speak at your event, be at your event, be featured on a podcast, that's totally up to you as well. My whole point here is just telling you my experience and why I am personally recommending that you stay away from the offline assistant company. So here's the deal. Back in late January, early February, hired the offline assistant company. Met with their sales representative and was pretty impressed by what they were offering. At that time, they were doing $1,000 a month, 24-hour turnaround, and unlimited task, no anything, right? No restrictions, no, you can't do that, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. Things go okay. Not great, but okay. As I told people, I went ahead and said they did 80% right. Truthfully, they probably did 50 to 60% right. I just didn't deal with it. I handed that off to my assistant, and she was basically in charge of running that division of our company and making sure that stuff got done with them. I come to find out after all of this, she was spending about 6 hours a day having to correspond and train and in some cases spoon feed information to those people. So we hire them, things are going okay, we have some hiccups, but things are generally going decently well. October 5th, 2015, we start a physical product company online. We do the drop shipping model. So we do free plus shipping offers. They're drop shipped directly from the manufacturer to the customer. We don't have any inventory. All that we do is take your money on our Shopify store and then fulfill the order, in this case through AliExpress, and then once that happens, it's shipped directly to you. We never see the product, and if everything goes well, we never interact with the customer. If it doesn't go well, then we go ahead and have some customer support stuff. So we had hired the offline assistant in this capacity as well, and their job was to do our customer service and support and to fulfill our orders. And we got pretty lucky in the fact that we found a hit product right, within the first couple weeks of being open, and this thing exploded. And it resulted in several, like tens of thousands of dollars in sales and over 2,000 orders. So think everything's going well, think everything's going all right. We're talking about what we're doing online. We're talking about people, how we're making a profit month one, which according to our books we were. And as a result of all of this, I think things are going great until I have a meeting with my accountant. And that meeting occurred on November 18th. So basically what happens is we review the previous month's books, So in October, we review September's books. For October's books, we reviewed them in November. So we sit down, we talk about this new division of the company, and I immediately notice that our cost of goods sold, the line item in our profit and loss statement, is about $2,000 higher than the daily spreadsheet that we have the offline assistants fill out for us. So we have a spreadsheet that basically breaks everything down. How much we spent on ads, what our profit was for the day, or what our total sales were, what our cost of goods sold, and then our profit left over. And they get that information directly from the orders that were supposedly being placed. So I see this $2,000 overage, and I'm like, that's weird. So I asked my assistant, said, hey, do some checking. I'm noticing some discrepancies on the numbers here, and it's not a little bit of money, it's like $2,000, and tell me what's going on. And about 24 hours later, she hits me up. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's actually, I think, the 20th of November, because it's 2 o'clock in the morning on the 20th, and she goes, hey, yeah, it's not good. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not good? She goes, yeah, apparently, somehow, the offline assistant company has people that were fulfilling our orders, but they were fulfilling them wrong. And for that most popular product, the one that's made up 85% of your income, well, guess what? They were double ordering that. So if we said, or if a customer ordered 1, well, they were ordering 2. And if the customer ordered 2, they were ordering 4, and so on and so forth, right? And as a result of that, they basically had been double ordering our most popular product, shipping that to the customer at our expense. So the customer only paid for 1, but we were paying for 2 because we were such a generous company that we thought you should have double. So when that happens, I immediately reach out to Kevin and I say, Kevin, hey, something's wrong here. I'm just letting you know it looks like we're going to have some overages. I'm going to do a full accounting and report, and when I do that, I'll get back to you, but this doesn't look good. In fact, I think my email to him specifically said, like, if this is under $4,000 or $5,000, we'll consider ourselves lucky. So I immediately get to work. We pull all the Shopify orders. We pull the AliExpress orders. I get credit card statements. We get it all just to line everything up. And then I have the offline assistant company pull the last 100 orders so I can spot check those. So I personally review the 100 orders. And out of those 100 orders, would you like to guess the error percentage, family? Would you say 50%? Higher. 60%? Higher. 70%? Higher. Your nuts starting to shrivel a little bit? 80%, Tim? Higher than that. Turns out, in those 100 orders that I spot checked, there was an 85% error rate, which means 85% of the time they got it wrong. So, and this company is not a small company, allegedly, right? It's got 22 employees. They have a project manager that's supposed to review everything. And what had been going on is this. We sent them a training document that said, here's an example. This product says 1 in the store, but you would need to order 2 there. What they did, somehow, miraculously on their end, without any coaxing or coaching by us, is this. They went and said, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and double order all of the products, except we're not. We're only going to double order your most popular product, even though in the spreadsheet that we provided them, it said to only order 1. So long story short, we go through it. They should have ordered, just we'll keep it easy math, okay, for all of us. They should have ordered $7,000 worth of goods. Yeah, they ordered $14,000. So we're talking an overage of $7,000. Really, again, to keep it simple, it's closer to $8,000. So we're $8,000 in the hole that I've had to pay out on products that they have mistakenly shipped for no reason at all. So I reach out, I relay my findings to the company, and I say, hey, Kevin, here's the deal. This is what's going on. Basically, you guys spent 14. We only should have spent 7. I'd like to know what your plan is to reimburse me and or compensate me. Well, guess what? His first email back is, yeah, I've reviewed the documents, and this training example here is what we went off of. So we did nothing wrong because the training example says you should double order every item, so that's what we were doing. But here's the funny thing. When I looked over everything, yeah, they didn't double order everything. In fact, several orders of the tape that we had that we were selling that was doing really well, right, was actually done correctly. So it wasn't a carte blanche thing where they double ordered everything. If they did, I could see where he could come with that justification. So I immediately respond back. I say, hey, look, I hear what you're saying. That's not true. Here's examples of where you guys did it right. We spot checked everything. Why wasn't this quality checked by your company like was promised when we hired you? And basically, how could somebody see us taking in $5 on the left hand, spending $7, and not go, that's weird. Why are they losing money on every order? I just don't get it. I just don't understand. So when they were confused, right, no one came and asked us any questions, and it wasn't until we caught the error that the error stopped. And as a result of that error, we're owed about $8,000. And to this date, as of this recording, 12/14/2015, Kevin and his company, okay, have yet to make any amends. Okay, let me tell you what they haven't done. Okay, they haven't offered an apology. They didn't offer to meet me halfway, a quarter way, a cent. They never offered money or services, and they refused to accept any responsibility for this error. That's right. They refused to accept any responsibility. There's no like, well, I could see how it could be our fault. There could be nothing. It's basically, no, it's your fault, and as a result of that, we're not paying a dime. Now, here's a company that I've hired to run this division of our fulfillment, right, that has a project manager, 22 employees, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Guess what? Nothing, no quality control happened on their end. How do I know that? Because nobody asked any questions about these orders. No one stopped and said, well, wait a second. We fill out the spreadsheet that has the cost of goods sold on it so that Tim knows his daily numbers. That number is way different than the number that we are actually spending every day. So we're telling Tim we're spending $2,000 a day, just for easy math. We're really spending $4,000 a day. The numbers don't match up, but we're just going to keep reporting it as is. So no quality assurance, no quality check, and I come to find out, right, that what was happening was when our stuff was time to get ordered, they were instead of going, hey, you know what, Frank, we're going to have you take care of the ordering every day, it was like, okay, today it's Frank, tomorrow it's Sally, the next day it's Susie. Those are all fake names, by the way, YouTube. Calm down, okay? These are actually Filipinos. I don't think they have names like Frank and Susie and the such. And the craziest part is this, right? Like, I went out of my way to help Kevin with this business. I mentored him at a marketing event that we were both a part of. In addition to that marketing event that I mentored him, I actually introduced him to some of my friends and some of my associates, and I did a webinar to help promote him and his business. Yet, when this comes down, when this happens, he doesn't apologize, he doesn't accept responsibility, he doesn't even offer me a free koozie, for the love of God. So, I tell him, I'm like, hey, listen, I need to be paid for this, and I need to know if you're going to pay me. And he doesn't respond. It isn't until I give him the first deadline. I say, hey, I need to know whether you're going to pay me by November 30th or not. He waits till the last minute on November 30th, sends me a thing basically saying, I consider this matter closed, which is funny because I thought I was the guy who paid the bills for you. So I'll consider it closed when it's closed because, you know, I'm the customer. But, yeah, it basically is like, yeah, I consider this matter closed. You guys should have caught the error sooner. It's not our fault. So that does not work for me, and that's why I'm making this video, because I just want you to know, as a potential possible customer of the offline assistant company, that if you run into an error like I have, if you have documentable proof where you can say, hey, here's the error, here's where your people messed up, here's, you know, the invoices, here's everything so you can 100% true and correct see it, that they are not going to accept responsibility. And even worse than accepting responsibility, they're going to blame it back on you because it was a training error, or because you didn't spot check this order, because you didn't do this or that. They are not going to accept responsibility. Now, I am fortunate enough, I guess, as I say air quotes, to be in a financial position where I can absorb this loss without it being a huge deal. Okay, like I'm not going to not eat this month because of it. However, I know a lot of people getting started or looking to have a crew assembled. Money, they have to count every penny. And if you have to do that, I would highly recommend that you stay away from this company, because if there are errors where you have to come up with a sudden $8,000 the month of Christmas, right? If you don't have that money, you're going to be screwed, because Kevin And the offline assistant company has not exactly gone out of their way to help us in any form or fashion, which is why I'm recording this video. It's why I'm posting blog updates at my blog, timothycastleman.com. It's why I've got a lawyer involved, and it's why I'm probably going to end up having to sue this company to legally get a judgment against them so that I can either recover my money through several different fun and interesting ways, which I'm going to keep a secret because I don't want to reveal the whole game plan, or maybe I just have to have somebody kicked out of the country. Who knows? All I know is this. For me, in my experience, I would stay away from the offline assistant company. I would look for a company that is going to be reputable in the fact that they will sign a document that says, hey, I acknowledge that if there are any mistakes, that we will be responsible, financially liable for those, and we will compensate and indemnify you. And if you ever work with a company where someone in the company does not take care of you as best as you think they should, you should definitely move on from them. But if you really think, like in certain cases like this, you should definitely be ready to fall on your sword and share this story with people. Because, it's $8,000. It's a little embarrassing that we lost that. It's even double embarrassing that we can't get a company to stand behind their word. And, lesson learned for us. And I hope that you have learned a valuable lesson from this, and that is twofold. One, be sure to double check, triple check the people that you work for, get everything you can in writing, okay? And specifically, I would reach out if you're going to work with a company like this or any company and say, hey, if you make errors, you're responsible. If they refuse to do that, then don't sign up with them at all. And the second thing is this: when you feel like you have been legitimately wronged, when you feel like you're not getting the response that you want or that you deserve based upon the actions that have happened to you, you need to be willing to go all out. Trust me, I have better things to do than to do lawsuits, okay, to do blog posts, to do videos, to do this and do that. But here's what I don't have better things to do, and that is to be taken advantage of or treated unfairly by companies that I've done business with. So that's what I want to share with you. If you decide to do business with this company after today, that's 100% your choice. 100% your choice. Sorry, getting a little choked up here right now. It's 100% your choice. I just want to tell you my story and experience with the offline assistant company and why I am recommending that you stay far, far away from them. If you have any questions, you can always reach out directly to me via my blog or do a Google search for Tim Castleman. I'm sure you'll find me. I'll be more than happy to share this information, just like I have with my lawyers and credit card companies and legal agencies and law enforcement, with anybody who asks. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll talk to you real soon. All right, well, welcome back. Well, before I get into this update, I'm sure my lawyers will appreciate the fact that I put this here, and I will appreciate the fact that I put this here, just to be perfectly clear, okay? Everything you saw in that video, everything that you see in this video, anything that you see from me relating to this case are just my facts and my opinions, and they are expressed that as Tim Castleman, the president of Castleman Consulting LLC, right? And really, I call them facts here, but really, let's just say they're my opinions, right? What my assumptions are, what my statements are. They haven't been proven facts in court of law, and I don't want you to consider them facts and should not be deemed truthful or factual without doing your own due diligence, right? The only reason I'm sharing this with you today is because all of the information I'm about to share with you is a matter of public record. Once Kevin O'Connor sued me in Lubbock, Texas, and there's the cause number right there. You can go look it up. You can get all the supporting documents. You can see everything I'm about to share with you in real time for yourself to help you do your own due diligence and make up your own decisions. Also, I want to remind you and anyone who might be watching this, including YouTube, that all the events that took place, the recordings, happened in the United States. They didn't happen in Ireland by myself or Kevin, because Kevin was actually here as a visaed resident in the United States. He lived in the United States. He conducted business in the United States. Nothing has to do with the country of Ireland, except for the fact that I believe that's where he's kind of gone back into hiding, quote unquote, if you will, because he certainly isn't in the United States to the best of my knowledge, right? And the only way that these are going to be removed is with a court order from a United United States court because they're the ones where Kevin sued me at. See, he sued me in the United States, so he apparently wants this to be conducted under the United States. So that means that my copyright material cannot be removed, cannot be blocked by California, by Texas state law. And yes, that even includes you, YouTube. So you YouTube reviewer that I'm sure is going to be watching this in legal, if you are going to do that, I really want to see all the legal precedents because my lawyer's definitely going to have some paperwork for you. And again, I just want to say, do your own homework, your due diligence prior to making any decisions. These are just my statements and opinions on what is going on and has gone on since then. So, what happens, right? You saw the video. What happens is we go radio silent. Not us, Kevin does, right? Doesn't start returning emails. I ask him for his address so we can send him the legal paperwork. Turns out I have to actually send it to him via email because he suddenly has forgotten how to return an email or something's up. I don't know. Could be the fact that he was moving cross country at the time. That he was, not so diligent in checking emails. I mean, if I ran a company, especially one that was a service-based company, I'd be checking emails, but for whatever reason, he stopped returning it. So we sent him a legal demand letter. We did not sue him. We sent him a legal demand letter, which is basically a nice way of my lawyer saying, hey, listen, here's what we believe, and here's what we'd like you to do. So our belief is, hey, we're correct. You're incorrect. You owe us about $7,000 to $8,000 worth of lost goods. We'd sure like to get that money from you. If you'd pay it, we'd consider all good and well and, be done with it and move on. So we sent him that on the 14th of December 2015. Again, I'm including all this information, including anything that might seem personal as nature, because it's a matter of public record, right? I'm not revealing anything that's not already out there in the court system. If you type in my name or Kevin's name into Google, guess what? You'll see the public filing that he did against us, right? Oh, damn, sorry. Spoiler alert. Well, guess what happens? Well, I also, along with that, right, my lawyer says, hey, listen, I can get you the 8K. I think that's what you're entitled to. I think that's what, 7 8 grand. I feel like that's what you're entitled to, and I feel like we can get that. But, do the guy a solid, offer him one more time, because I'd offered him multiple times to make payment arrangements with us. Offer him one more time. So I said, hey, dude, listen, I don't want to go through with this any more than you want to. For $5,000, we'll call it good. And if you need to, I'll even do a payment plan with you, right? So I offered to settle for almost half of what I felt like he owed me, and I offered to let him do payments if it was a monetary thing. Because, I'm sure for some people, $8,000 or $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000, whatever the amount may be, can be a little bit hard to come up with. So you can see right there, hey, look, if you've got to do it, I'll give you a $3,000 discount. You pay me $5 grand right now if you got to do me payment plans. I think we said 3 payments of $2,000, so $6,000, right? So, okay, great. Well, we figure we're going to get this check any day. I need it by the end of the year so we can close out our taxes and just move on from this whole thing. Well, not only does Kevin not offer or take me up on my discounted settlement offer here, right? He retains a lawyer himself. And again, matter of public record. And I get this email from Zachary Ferrara, who, by the way, has an amazing photo on Google. You should check it out. He's a soccer player, or was a pretty big soccer player. So very awesome photo, action shot, great job there. In that letter, Zach asked us to do this, right? Or he says this: the offline assistant pointed Castleman Consulting to the instructions that clearly directed them to double all orders. So they're saying that allegedly, right, that our instructions told them to double all orders. Now, what's interesting is that all orders weren't doubled. But, again, that's something for the court to figure out. I'm just kind of providing you with an update. But it gets even better, right? So he's telling me, hey, we're the ones that told you to double all the orders, right? And then here's the funny part, right? He wants me to issue. This is part of their legal demand back to us. They want me to issue a public apology for making the statements that I made. And they want me to make them on the same platforms, right? The same platforms that I made my videos on, that I do my podcast on, my blog, the Warrior Forum, Facebook, all those things. And they want them to be publicly viewable for Facebook, right? And each apology must be satisfactory to Kevin, right? He's got to be okay with it, and it's got to be publicly viewable for 1 year. It cannot be taken down or altered prior to the expiration of the 1 year period. Oh, and by the way, if I could just scratch them off a check for $315,000. $315,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, I made the Facebook post was sometime early December. So in less than 30 days, right, they want $315,000 from me. And again, you can go get all the documents. You can see it yourself. What I think is interesting about this is that Kevin had my Facebook post removed within 24 hours, but he wants me to draft up a post, get his approval and blessing on it, and then leave it there for a year. So he's okay if he gets to control the conversation in the situation. But apparently when I express my side of the situation, that has to be removed immediately. But when it's his side of the situation and he approves it, it can be up for a year. Well, as you can imagine, my lawyer and I were like, not interested, right? So we forget all about it. Why did we forget all about it? Well, candidly, right, I was going to spend $5,000 to get a lawyer to get an $8,000 settlement from Kevin that probably, based on the fact that he hadn't even offered up a dollar yet, he may not have had the money, he may not have had the financial ability to pay me, right? And it was just a big, giant pain in the butt. So I said, you know what? We're just going to table this. We're going to shelf it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll give it a year. If in a year I want to still sue him, I'll do that. Well, unfortunately for Kevin and for me, ultimately, he had other plans. So just a quick recap before I show this next slide, even though I already showed it before. So I asked Kevin to pay me $8,000, right, with the threat of a lawsuit. He comes back and says, not only am I not going to pay you the $8,000, right, I want you to remove all the posts that you made. Then I want you to write up an apology. Right? I want you to violate what I would consider violate my First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. He wants to dictate what it is I can say, where I say it, and for how long it is. And then he wants $315,000. $315,000 less than 30 days after I make my first public post about this on Facebook, which, by the way, gone in 24 hours. Why? Kevin had it removed. Interesting. So, again, that's where we are. I think, okay, whatever. Bygones be bygones. I lost the money. I'm not happy about it, but he's not happy about it. We're both unhappy, whatever. Well, turns out that Kevin was so unhappy that he decided to sue me. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He decided to sue me in Lubbock, Texas. So he didn't sue me in Ireland, where he is apparently over there doing whatever he does in Ireland, celebrating Conor McGregor's latest win. I have no idea, right? Whatever the Irish people do, I'm sure with the exception of one or two people, you guys are great and amazing people. He sues me. So he sues me, and this, I can't even remember. This says 3/7/2016. I think the date's there. Yeah, March. So we wait 3 months. He gets another lawyer, by the way. I don't know what happened to Soccer Guy. Soccer Guy disappears, right? And this guy shows up, right? And it's interesting to me because now, in March, they want up to $1 million. So think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Again, let's just do a little timeline. December, I should go public after trying to work with Kevin for multiple weeks, trying to get a settlement from him, trying to keep everything private, trying to keep everything between us. It doesn't happen. Turns out he's not a big fan of me telling what I believe to be the truth of the situation. So in December, he wants $300K. By March, the beginning of March, so we're not even talking, I don't even think it's been December to January to February to March, so 3 months now. Now the amount has gone up to $1 million. And again, this is all public record. Do your own due diligence, all that great stuff. So his law firm, J.P. Manning and Associates, right? Interesting fella, interesting times, goes ahead and files all the necessary paperwork, right? Now, one of the things I found interesting was this. We were scheduled to meet on the 24th of June. We were scheduled to meet on 24th of June. His lawyer had that meeting postponed because we did not give him appropriate notice. I believe, right, again, this is a matter of dispute, I believe that he cited the wrong case as far as why he needed 14 days, because what we are going after is called an anti-SLAPP, and basically it says, hey, we think that your client is trying to bully us, and we think your client might be trying to bully us and intimidate us by, doing things like asking for $1 million and telling me that I'm must publicly apologize, and then having to craft my apology for me, and then forcing me to keep my apology up in the same places where, in their opinion, I disparaged them. So we're supposed to meet on the 24th of June. Suddenly, on the 22nd of June, Kevin's email, again, public record, becomes very, very active, and he asked this Tony Muldred guy, who I've never met, have no idea about it, and basically Tony does an affidavit right here, I believe it is. Actually, you know what? Hold on one second. Let me fix this. There we go. Okay. So this Anthony Mullard gives an affidavit. An affidavit basically stating the reason that he didn't do business with Kevin was because he saw my information posted online and wanted that to be resolved prior to doing it. Now, what I found interesting was that, again, let's go back one, that this was asked 2 days before the hearing. So all of a sudden, Kevin wants to know 2 days before a hearing, hey, why didn't you do it, right? And then Tony, who, by the way, is also from Ireland, it's very interesting. All the affidavits are from Ireland. There's not a single United States person in this, except for, me, who's licensed and registered to do business in the States. And as a result, he goes, I didn't do business with you because of this. So I don't know if Tony and Kevin are friends or business associates. I just think, to me, and again, this is just my opinion as Castleman Consulting President, right, LLC, all the good stuff, hug a lawyer today. It's interesting that the one affidavit is from a person in Ireland. Out of everybody that he apparently has lost $1 million of business, the only one willing to go on record is somebody in Ireland. It's just very, very convenient, coincidental. I don't know what the word is because I'm not a wordsmith, right? But and then on the 24th of June, Kevin gives this affidavit. Now, this is pretty interesting affidavit. I highly recommend you go check this out. Again, Kevin reiterates that the instructions expressly directed the offline assistant to double all orders. I believe that to be false because, we tell them, hey, order one here. We have a spreadsheet, right? And the spreadsheet said one all day long. So 1 equals 1 to me. But again, that's something for a court to decide. And Kevin is saying that now, since December, that his sales have dropped off by 61%. 61%, right? And no time during the past 4.5 years had that happen. Now, I am not a Houdini here. So I'm not putting on my Houdini hat here. But think about this for just a second. Kevin, who's at the time a visa resident of the United States, so he's not in Ireland. He lives in the United States when all this goes on, when I hire him, when we have all these issues. How do I know that? Because he actually came to hang out with me in Lubbock on his way to moving to Florida. Oh, did I mention that? I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah, Kevin moved from the West Coast to the East Coast, right? I'm sure moving, like shutting down your entire base of operations and moving them from one coast to the other, I'm sure that has nothing that would have zero impact on a business, right? And it's also December. Now, I don't know about you, but in December, I'm usually thinking about buying presents. I'm not really thinking about buying business, especially when the new year comes, and that's typically when I do my business. So I don't know. I mean, to me, it would seem that if someone had moved 3 times within the last year, one from Ireland to the U.S., to the West Coast, then to the East Coast, then back to Ireland, that maybe, just maybe, if you do direct sales, like he appears to with webinars and then phone closing, that probably gets disrupted by your own movement. And the timing of the year might do that, right? I certainly don't think it's the 27 views or however many views the original video had prior to his lawyer getting it and constantly replaying it over and over to transcribe it, right? And I certainly would never state publicly, for the record, that 22 employees might be clicking on it. None of that, I'm sure, happened. I just think it's a little interesting that we're claiming a 61% decrease in business over the holidays while you move coast to coast, and you attribute that to me. That's interesting. So guess what happens? We file this anti-SLAPP lawsuit. We ask them to do it, right? His lawyer says, not only do I want you to pay the $1 million, but I want you to pay me. I want you to pay me because you got to pay my lawyer fees, right? And he wanted $6,500 from us. Again, matter of public record, J.P. Manning and Associates. By the way, went to the anti-SLAPP hearing. Kevin no-showed. I mean, Again, not a Houdini here, but I'm thinking, man, you're suing me for $1 million. Surely that flight from Ireland got to be worth it, right? Suing me. And I understand that, you don't have to be there legally, but it's kind of like, man, you can't even show up to your own lawsuit hearing. That's weird. And Mr. Manning was amazing. Now, I don't have copies of the court records or transcripts. I highly recommend you get them because Mr. Manning was very adamant that words matter. Very adamant, words matter. He was so adamant, he told the court at least 3 times that I can verbally and visually remember how in the olden days, when someone lied, that was grounds for being able to murder that person and get off. He talked about tombstone and all those things, and how in the Old West, when somebody said you were a liar or you stole from me and the other person didn't and they shot him, the judge would let him go. Folks, I kid you not, I can't make this up. It's in there. JP, baby, if you're mad at me, I'm so sorry. Next time, update your analogy. Because, if we're going to go olden days, it's like, back in the day, we used to have slaves. But I'm pretty sure, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 people, if you asked them if that was still acceptable behavior today, most people would be like, no, we've kind of progressed as a society here, and that's kind of why we're doing this court of law thing, right? So, just very interesting. Again, he wants the $6,500 from me, and if we go to appeal, it's going to cost me $2,500 or $12,500 on top of my lawyer's fees, which are more than this, which is just kind of crazy. So, apparently, back in the old West days, if I called someone a liar, which I never did, ever, 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 or a thief, right? Or I said someone stole from me, never said that either, right? You could kill them and get away with it. That's what I learned that day, right? And here's what else I learned. That apparently there's only lawyers working at JP's office because all those $300 an hour, no interns, no paralegals, nothing. It was all 100% lawyers, 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 right? And as a result of our hearing, guess what happened? The judge found in their favor, right? Basically, we asked them to dismiss it. Judge says, hey, sorry, not going to dismiss it. That's number 2, by the way. Number 1, they had a time issue. The computer system was down, so we had to file it later than expected. We got a reprieve from that, and the best news so far is that I don't have to pay his lawyer fees, right? So far, okay, this has cost him, at least according to what his lawyer said, $6,500. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that all that I asked him to pay was $8,000. And actually, I asked him to pay me $5,000 before we even did this. So he's already spent, if his lawyer's factual, and I know his lawyer is factual because words matter to him, and I'm sure he would never intentionally or unintentionally lie. And if he did, I would have no way to know that. But since words matter and these are true and factual statements, right? Because, they're affidavits, so they got to be signed, swore to be true. He's already paid more than he would have paid me just to have me be like, we're done with this. So, very interesting, right? Here's where it gets even more interesting. The other day I wake up, and this is why I'm shooting this update video. 1, I want to tell you kind of what's going on. And 2, I get this, and it goes, hey, yeah, the original video, right, is restricted in Ireland. Now, I go through, and I highly recommend, it's not clickable, but if you type the support.google and all that, you can go through this whole process. And what's really interesting is this, is when you go to the part where you go, hey, I have a problem with this, and you go, the country of dispute is the United States, here's what pops up. And it says, YouTube, this is from YouTube, is not in a position to adjudicate the truthfulness of the postings. We do not remove video postings due to allegations of defamation. So if the complaint was filed correctly, and the country of dispute was listed as the United States, because I'm a business in the United States, Kevin was in the United States at the time of this, I was the one that created the video, here based upon my experience as a U.S. company, right, dealing with another company that was operating in the business in the United States, then it should have never have been restricted. But, right, if you go to Ireland and you say, oh, it's Ireland, well, they seem to be a little more leeway with the defamation and all that. So I've reached out to Kevin directly, as well as his lawyer, and I asked them to take that false, what I believe to be false, complaint against the video down, and I asked them to do that by the 19th. They unfortunately did not do that. So I can't do anything about that video, but I sure as hell can update you guys with this video. And any future future videos. In fact, every time we go to court, I'm going to be providing you guys with a video update because it's important to me to share with you this journey. And let's just do a quick recap of everything, and then I'll talk about where we stand so far. I hire a company to fulfill our orders for our physical product business that we get started. Okay? We give them a spreadsheet that says to order 1. Okay? They order 2. Okay. In addition to that, other things, and this is stuff that we'll deal with in court. In addition to it, the orders we use Shopify, okay, and AliExpress. So when someone buys from us, they buy on our Shopify, and then we go over and fulfill it in AliExpress. So what was happening is, and this happened a few thousand, at least 1,000 times. It had to be because it was our most selling popular product. They would see a Shopify order. Just example, Tim Castleman had ordered this one thing, okay, for $7.50. All hypothetical numbers, just trying to make it easy. They would go fulfill that order on AliExpress. Again, easy math here. It cost me $9.50, meaning I lost $2.50 or $2 an order. See why I try to keep it easy? And not once over the thousands of orders did they ever bring it to our attention that we were losing money on every order. And when I brought this up to Kevin in an email prior to all this lawsuit, he said it wasn't his responsibility to know what business model our business was in, and that tons of companies do loss leaders, except that we had never told him we were doing a loss leader. See, we're a for-profit company. And the other thing that's kind of interesting, and this will be something that I'm sure will come out in the court case, is they also, by they I mean his company, prepared us a daily cost analysis spreadsheet. So basically a profit and loss breakdown where they showed our store and the cost of goods. So they were telling us our cost of goods were one thing when they were actually another. So there seems to be a little discrepancy there. Again, we'll let the courts figure it out. And on paper, they were showing us profitable, but in reality, we were losing money. So I'd really like to know how a company that fulfills the orders for us, right, does the profit and loss for us, and also sees us losing money on orders, how that all works together, and the right hand doesn't talk to the left hand, or whatever happens. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I spent close to $8,000 in legal fees defending myself against this lawsuit. So I don't have to pay $1 million. Okay, and I don't have to take down my videos and violate my First Amendment rights by apologizing for something that, well, frankly, I don't feel like I need to do. I asked Kevin to pay me the $8K, and then I offered him $5,000, and then I offered him $10,000 after we started doing the lawyers, and he denied all of them. He actually didn't deny any of them. He just failed to respond to any of them. Didn't even bother with an email. And even after making those several offers, he still hasn't paid me a single dime. And in addition to not paying me, he's now suing me for $1 million. Again, this is all matter of public record, right? And based on his first lawyer's letter, wanted me to make a public apology to his satisfaction that had to remain online for 1 year, untouched, uninterrupted. I'd also like to remind you at this point that he had our Facebook post about the situation removed within 24 hours and now has our video blocked, I believe, illegally in Ireland, right? And his latest antics, right, is that he's also filed a false claim with YouTube to have my previous video blocked from his home country, which is why I'm shooting this video update along with just providing you an update. So my experience with Kevin O'Connor and the offline assistant company has been, I hired him. They messed something up again, allegedly. We're fighting about this in court. Okay, when I asked them to own up for their mistakes, not only have they not so far, okay, but then they go and ask for $300,000. When we say no to that, then they increase the amount threefold to $1 million, on top of asking me for an apology, right, to leave it unmolested for a year, etc., etc., etc. Now, I want to go all the way back, even though I'm going to have to clip here, okay? This is just my experience. You may have a great experience with him. I'm not saying every person that works with him is going to have this experience. I don't know what your experience is going to be. All I can share with is my experience with my business and my company with his. And again, I'm only sharing this with you because it's a matter of public record and because I am being sued. Okay, so I'm being sued for $1 million. It's all a matter of public record. That's why I want to share it with you today. Whatever you decide to do, if you decide to work with this company or you don't decide to work with this company, if you want to have them at your event or on a whatever you do is your business, and I don't care. If you decide to work with them, knowing everything I've told you, fantastic, great. I pray every night that your experience will be 100% different than mine. If you don't want to work with them, that's fine. That's your decision too. Again, do your own homework, do your own due diligence, and above all, right, don't take anything that I've said here as factual or accurate without doing your own due diligence. Go on on the Lubbock County Courthouse, right? Type in the cause number, get anything that you need from them, and feel free to do your own due diligence, your own research prior to making any decisions on your own, because at the end of the day, all decisions that you make are your own and should not be reflective of my opinion or anything like that, right? It's just basically, this is what happened to me. I'm sharing with it so that maybe you can make an informed decision if you want to work with this company or not. Either way, whether you do or you don't, I don't care. That's up to you. This is just me, my experience. So this video has gone on way too long. I apologize for it being so long, and I hope that this has been insightful for those of you guys who are in a position for it to be, or want to know what's going on with it. Again, every time that we have an update, we'll let you know. And that does include, by the way, if this video gets taken down or restricted in Ireland again from another false claim, we'll shoot another update on that, and we'll just keep keeping you guys updated on what's going on. So thanks for your time and attention. Again, please do your own due diligence, your own homework, and thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Hey, what's up, everybody? Another update for you. So Kevin, I'm just going to assume it's Kevin because he's the only person I know in Ireland that would have a reason to have this done, has had this video blocked again. So he's had the 821 update blocked again in Ireland. So I've decided that I've asked them to remove it themselves. They don't seem to be able to comply with that. So I've reached out to my legal team. They're going to be working in the background with YouTube so that YouTube can explain why they keep blocking something that's clearly not supposed to happen with their written policy. So until then, as I promised, this is an updated video. And this is the 31st, so it's been 10 days. I assume this video will probably go down, so I'd just like to let Kevin know that the video will come back up again and again and again, and that if you didn't want me to tell people about my experience and story with you, that maybe, just maybe, you should have taken care of my complaint when I was a customer of yours. It sucks that I have to keep doing this and wasting my time providing these updates, but I just want to let you know these are the lengths that he is going, right, allegedly, again, with all the previous disclaimers intact, to try and keep me from sharing my message with the entire world. And when he couldn't get it pulled down from YouTube in the United States, again, I believe, which we'll fully fight out in court, that he did this so that that he had to lie to them and say, hey, some part of this took place in Ireland, which it didn't. So anytime these videos get blocked and taken down, immediately I'll be shooting an update explaining it to you. And as an added benefit, just so I can really help share the message, since YouTube has decided to take these down, now we're going to go to other video platforms as well. And I hate to do that, but I really believe that people need to know about my experience with this company and all the attempts that they're doing to try and keep me silent to share my personal experience with it. So until we have our date in court, I will be uploading this video again, and I'll be uploading it to other video sharing sites as well. And if a certain someone doesn't want that to happen, then maybe, just maybe, they would have taken care of us as a customer when we were a customer and they had a chance to do that. So all of it, we'll see its day in court. Until then, thanks for watching this update.